Earlier today, Tom Pelissero from NFL Network is hosting The Insiders, his show with Ian and Garofalo, and Steve Weish is there. And they are talking about an interview that Tom did with Dan Quinn. Quinn says, hey, like quarterback, it's safe to say we're going to do that. Where you'd have to talk to Adam. That's not really my department. Basically saying like, yeah, we haven't ruled out a trade back. Someone want to make us an offer? But, I don't know. I'm not the GM, right? And so Garofalo's like, I've heard that they really like Jaden. Pelissero says, and he says it in a very specific way, and then the internet runs off with it, and I feel a little bit bad for Tom, but like also he knows, he's been around long enough to know what's up, that if he's talked to a number of people who know Adam Peters, and they have told him their bet would be that he takes JJ McCarthy, which is basically like, hey, you know Adam. What do you think Adam will do? Knowing Adam the way I haven't talked to him about it, but I think he'd take JJ McCarthy. The things he looks for in a quarterback, that's the guy that fits them. Leader, accuracy, a lot of similarities to some of the stuff that's really impressive about a guy like Brock Purdy. My question is that the same? Like I've said the whole time, I am way more interested in the JJ McCarthy route if I run a West Coast offense. I don't know if I'm as interested in the current Commanders offense. So if Adam Peters had and Dan Quinn had gone the route that a lot of us anticipated, a Bobby Slowick, or I guess Slowick probably wouldn't have left Houston to be the OC, but like Clint Kubiak, someone off of that tree, then I think JJ McCarthy makes impossible amounts of sense. I think with the air raid based offense, which is what I guess I'll call it for now until we see what it actually is under Cliff Kingsbury, who has said it's not the air raid. I think some of the other characteristics, some of the other guys are more appealing. So I think it's just really hard to know, but because people say, like Pelissero asks them that question, they answer, he goes on TV and says that then turns into Adam Peters is really high on JJ McCarthy, and that is not actually what was said on television. So it does become silly season where, and look, we're guilty of this to an extent. We got 3 hours to fill every day. And nothing we're talking about is made up. Nothing we're talking about is stuff that we're pulling out of nowhere. All this stuff is possible, but because we might spend more time talking about a trade possibility than them staying at 2 on a given day, doesn't mean the weight of what that actually turns into in reality is actually represented there. I've even started many of segments that have been talking about potential trades with, I think it's most likely they stay at 2, but blah, 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 trade.
I just don't think you rule it out.
Of course not. And that's why I still think it's good to talk about. And frankly, it's more interesting. There's the more possibilities, the more interesting it is. It's a mental thought exercise. Mm-hmm. But I also, like, we're doing a talk show for entertainment. Their show's called The Insiders. So, like, they probably should be really careful with what they say. So, I don't know, man. It's hard. I feel a little bit bad about Pelissero. But I think JP put it really well when he joined us earlier in the show, which is, I don't think they know who they're taking yet. So, I understand why all the information is coming out the way it is. There's a recency bias, perhaps. A lot of people probably just also asked Adam Peters about McCarthy because the most recent pro day was Michigan. But as they go to LSU, as they go to North Carolina later this week, you probably are still going to hear some stuff about how impressive they were and how much they like them. But they haven't made up their mind yet on which one they're taking, so it's impossible for any of this to be a tell because they don't know. And if they don't know, how are the reporters or other league executives or agents or whoever else these sources are supposed to know?
Hey, this is DA, and you're listening to The Hoffman Show on the Team 980 and the Odyssey app.